My name is Naja Hall, and for those of you that have just met me, I want to tell you a little bit about me and my style of reporting. But before I do that, I see the comments, and I understand why some of you might be directing your anger at me. What I'm going to say doesn't always go with popular opinion or your perception of what the truth might be. I can firmly admit that I do not know the truth in this case or any case that I'm discussing, because I simply wasn't there. And while I can personally stand beside the witness statements that I present, I can't tell you if these people are telling the damn truth or not. My job is to verify that they were where they say they were, to get them to show me and validate that they have a connection, to transcribe their story and present it here. And yes, sometimes I do read witness statements, because people are simply afraid to lend their voices and their actual likenesses to the general public. My God, look how y'all are going in on me in these comments. While I can take it, most people cannot and should not undergo that type of scrutiny from pure strangers. I'm going to keep on reading you witness statements when they're not comfortable appearing on the show. If you yourself have a statement for me and you want me to skew your voice and allow me to use your voice, that's exactly what I'm going to do. If you provide me with anonymous information, my sources are safe with me. Now, there's some of you out there that understand that a bias exists in all human beings. When I'm presenting you a story, that means I've taken my own bias out of it and I'm handing you the facts for you to do what you want with them. I am the messenger in this case and all cases. I often do think pieces, and if you look around my channel, you'll notice that I've been on YouTube for about 13 years now. I am brand new to doing content in this space, but looking into cases, crime, especially those that involve poor impulse control, family violence, mental illness, personality disorders, co-parenting, step-parenting, I'm going to be delving into a lot of cases that tug at your emotions. The person that you've come to hate over the past few months or years might appear as a topic on Naja News. And while I don't intentionally humanize monsters, I will very much share with you the human aspect of them, because that's what humanity is all about. Real human beings do monstrous things every day, and monsters can pretend that they're human. For those of you that are here and like to dialogue and like to talk and like to challenge thought and even challenge me respectfully, I can appreciate that. I'm not always right, but you all have already seen me publicly state that information that was shared on my channel, not even for me, might have been inaccurate. I don't know too many content creators that can do that, but my ego isn't in such a place where I can't admit that I'm wrong. When I don't know something about a case, which I don't know a lot about most things, I'm gonna bring in an expert. When I tell you that I have validated a witness, that means as a journalist, a trained journalist with actual media credentials, this means that I am giving you the account that was given to me. That doesn't mean that I've been swayed or that I know somebody on one side, because just like in this case and all cases, I'm trying to piece a story together and present it to you. We're building a community here. And my people will find me. The people that ultimately are going to understand Naja News are cerebral people. You're deep thinkers. You're able to see both sides, even if it goes against everything that you initially believe. You can recognize and check your own bias when you need to. You can stand firm in when you're right. And also, you can throw your hands up and say, I'm sorry, when you're wrong. I don't do salacious. I don't do greasy. I don't do gossip. As a mediator, as a conflict resolution specialist, and a human being that prides herself on building strong relationships based on boundaries and respect, when you come to this page, I want you to be able to put your thinking cap on. If you prefer gossip and salacious things, slander, people throwing one another under the bus, that's just not my MO. That's just not how I was trained. I don't have the capacity or the energy for any of that. And there's people that have built literal, highly visible brands based off that. But I guess I'm taking the scenic route. My goal here is not just to tell stories about people who are going through some of the worst, most traumatizing times in their lives, but I'm also trying to take you through a journey. Part of my training and a big part of my educational background is studying human behavior and then being able to predict human behavioral patterns. That's one of the main things that I'll be weaving into my teachings and content on this channel. And while it might not seem like it, that's what's already been happening with this story. I see the comments and I see some of you putting some things together and dealing with the cognitive dissonance that this thing can be true, but then another thing can be true. That's a very uncomfortable fact. And I can see the people in the comments that are wrestling with that fact and that are having a nearly impossible time understanding and coping with the fact that two things can be true at once. And sometimes one of those things might not be something that you're ready to digest yet. To my supporters, welcome, thank you. To the people that are still iffy about me, I urge you to just hang out and give me a chance. Subscribe. And if I say something you don't like, don't unsubscribe. Just tell me. But keep it cute though. I'm Naja Hall with Naja News. And I will see you very soon.